Hi everybody, it's Lisa from SuttonsDaze, and today is day 13, September 13th, September being National Preparedness Month. Our goal is to bring you a video every single day this month, hoping to inspire you to become better prepared in your day-to-day life for life's little emergencies. Today we're going to discuss hygiene just a little bit. Good basic personal hygiene and hand washing are critical to help prevent the spread of illness and disease. So important, you'd be amazed. Clean, safe running water is essential for proper hygiene and hand washing. Now, if you don't have good, clean running water, then you should at least have a stockpile of some good, clean water that you can use, okay? It's especially important, hygiene is, in an emergency such as floods, hurricanes, earthquakes. But finding clean, safe water can be difficult sometimes. So hopefully this helps you out a little bit, some of the information that we're sharing. Hand washing during an emergency is critical to prevent any kind of disease and illness. So being able to wash your hands frequently during any kind of major disaster should be top priority for you. There are a number of ways to do this, okay? If you don't have clean running water out of your taps, then you should have a storage of clean water that you can use. Very simply, find a way to wet your hand, put the soap on it, clean it really good, and then rinse it off. Another way is with that the pump, the antibiotic stuff that you can put on your hands. Why am I not remembering that name? But that's very handy to have. And you can buy them in bulk sizes at your local big box stores, that kind of thing. So very, very important. Make sure that you find a way to constantly wash your hands. Now, if you're anything like me, when I use those antibiotic cleaning things, they mess with the skin of my hands a lot. Okay, so try to have some lotion in your kit with you just in case, but regardless of whether or not you have the lotion, keeping them clean is primary. There are all kinds of examples on the internet. If you Google temporary hand washing station, these can be very helpful, especially if you've got younger kids, or it's just an easier way to handle the whole thing. When to wash your hands, okay? Before, during, and after preparing food. Before eating food, after using the toilet, okay? After changing diapers or cleaning up a child who has used the facilities. Before and after caring for somebody who is sick. After blowing your nose, coughing, or sneezing. After touching an animal or animal waste. After touching garbage. Before and after treating a cut or a wound. Think of your day-to-day life. Now, how many of us, after touching an animal, I pet my dog. I go about my business, okay? Because our dogs aren't that dirty, right? When you're talking about an emergency situation, that not dirty that you're used to is much dirtier than you expect. So regardless, if you're sitting there petting your dog, when you get up, go wash your hands. If you're sitting there petting your cat, get up, go wash your hands before you start doing any other task where you might spread any kind of dirt, germs, disease, illness, that kind of thing. Do not use contaminated water to wash dishes, brush your teeth, wash or prepare food, or make ice. Very important, because the contaminants will get on you, in you, and then it's disastrous, okay? Bathing's a whole nother deal there. Bathing or showering after a water-related emergency should only be done with clean, safe water. I can remember back when they had that grid down situation in the Detroit area, that they said, oh no, go ahead. Don't drink the water. Can't drink the water, but go ahead and you can take a bath. And I remember thinking, if I can't ingest it, then I'm not going to sit in it, for reasons that made sense to me. And so, that's something that you have to consider. If the water's not clean, if you're not sure that it's clean, don't do it. And don't bathe in the lakes. Don't bathe in the streams. If you want to rinse off, fine. But not actual soap, that kind of stuff, because you're contaminating that natural water at that point and possibly sending things downstream to other people, okay? Dental hygiene, huge important. You just don't know how important that is. Brushing your teeth after a water-related emergency should only be done with clean, safe water also. So anything to do with hygiene when it comes to your body, make sure the water is clean and safe. Again, you're going to rely on that stored water that you've been putting up. Very important. Wound care, same thing. Avoid contact with Floodwaters, if you have an open wound, cover clean and open wounds with a waterproof bandage to reduce your chance of infection. Keep open wounds as clean as possible by washing well with soap and clean water. You know, keep an eye on your wounds if you have any issue like that, because if you see any kind of redness happening, any kind of swelling happening, you want to be really on top of that. It's very important. And clean water and soap, huge. If you can, seek medical attention as soon as possible. During an emergency, that's really hard. So a lot of these people that have opted to shelter in with the storm coming through, even though it's a mandatory evacuation, they have made that conscious decision to be responsible for their persons. So they've already been told that emergency personnel are not going to risk themselves to come rescue these people who made the decision to stay put. So the people that decided to stay put need to know how to handle any of these situations in case of emergency. There is no help. If it were a really, really serious emergency where help was absolutely not going to happen, you need to know what to do. Being able to stay clean, being able to take care of the wounds and keep an eye on everything is huge, and that's where hygiene comes in, okay? A big thing with this is bleach. And you can clean water, you can disinfect it, and keeping bleach around as a disinfectant to help with that whole situation is also really, really big. I'm going to link you guys to an article on the CDC website so that you can check out their information verbatim and links that they have provided. The CDC is really, really well versed on this, and it's something that you should take very seriously. Okay, a good disinfectant that is easy to use is a solution of 1 part liquid bleach to 10 parts water. That's the easiest disinfectant that you will ever have. Don't stock up that scented, floral, whatever, fresh linen bleach. Bleach, just plain old bleach is what you want to do. You want to keep that stocked up so that you can use it as a disinfectant. What happens if you can't flush? What happens if you can't use your toilet? A lot of times, probably one of the easiest things that you can do is to make sure that the bowl is completely empty, okay? And then take those big construction black trash bags and line the inside of the toilet, put the seat down over the top of it. That little comfort actually helps people mentally through the stress of these kinds of emergencies, because it's a sense of normalcy. Even though they can't flush, it's a sense of normalcy. I'm also going to put a link in the description box below for the example that Mandy from More to Life did with her portable bucket toilet, okay? That really made a difference in her world when there was an emergency with water at her house. So that simple little task will make a huge difference for hygiene and for comfort levels, because they do tend to go hand in hand. What are some things that you want to keep on hand to help with hygiene? How many of these did you not think of? Let me know, and if you think of any more, put them in the description box below. Fingernail clippers and emery boards, right? Sanitary napkins, insect repellent, toilet paper. You know me and toilet paper. Moistened towelettes or baby wipes. A few bath towels are very handy to have. Thrift store them if you have to, you know, but have them set aside specifically for that. And a small handheld mirror. Those mirrors come in handy. Liquid all-purpose soap, Vaseline petroleum jelly. Liquid chlorine bleach, and ammonia. Ammonia is another disinfecting aid. Don't mix it with the bleach, okay? And now we're going to talk a little bit about emergency sewage disposal, because water flush toilets cannot be used when the water service is interrupted. So that's where we do the thing with the bag. You don't want to keep using the toilet if there's no place for it to go, because if everyone does that, then the city sewer will actually back up. And that's catastrophic, okay? If you have a septic system, you've got a little bit of forgiveness going there, but you want to make sure that you're not overfilling your septic system, and you don't necessarily want to waste water getting it down there when water's so important, unless you're near something like a pond or something like that where you can bucket it in a little bit, okay? One of the things that we do around here is we have old cat litter, you know, containers, that kind of thing, that we put water in that we have no intention of ever ingesting. However, When we lose power, we lose the ability to pump water into our bathroom. So we keep those jugs filled in the house. We don't leave them outside because it gets very cold outside. They can freeze and bust. We want them in here where they're usable. And that way we can use those buckets to fill the toilet and flush it and get it down to our septic system. If you're on city water, that really is not the preferred method. But if you're in a rural area, it's really helpful to have. Controlling odors and insects is another really big one. Insecticides and deodorants should be used when necessary to control odors and insects, breeding in containers that cannot be emptied immediately. That's huge. Here right now, the mosquitoes are worse than they've been all summer long because all of a sudden we've got rain and a lot of standing water. Now you add any kind of extra stuff created, okay, from us, into that factor, and the bugs are just multiplying, and it could be deadly. Other supplies keep on hand: an extra supply of toilet paper, sanitary napkins, that kind of thing. Rubber bands, rubber sheeting is also very helpful. Huge thing is the contractor bags. That really will make a big difference because there's no garbage disposal. You want to make sure that, any food is disposed of so that you're not inviting more critters and more bugs, which again cause more issues, more disease possible. If you have a baby in your home, you guys, this is really big, okay? You may find diaper laundering a problem under emergency conditions. It's best to keep an ample supply of disposable diapers on hand for emergency use only. It's a temporary solution, but it helps, okay? Any moisture-resistant material can be cut and folded to diaper size and lined with absorbent material. That's a nice secondary. Also, if you don't want to actually deal with the disposable diapers. These are just a few things to keep in mind when you're thinking about hygiene. You need soap. You need stuff for your teeth. You need to be able to keep your hands cleaned at all times. It's so important to make sure. The simplest little things can cause major infections. They can cause death. Okay, so it's something that you really need to take seriously. What did I miss in all my notes? Okay, what did I miss that you think should be added and considered when it comes to hygiene? Basic hygiene. Be sure to leave it in the comment section below. I love the discussions happening with this. I hope that you enjoyed today's video on basic hygiene. And for all of you that are in the path of the hurricane, you are in our thoughts, and we are sending lots of love and light your way in hopes that it is not as severe as they say, and it keeps downgrading, and that your power comes back on soon. We miss you. Take care of yourself. Check in when you can. Until next time, be safe.